Good morning, gorgeous one. I'm so glad you found us here at Rock Painting Workshops. Okay, today we are going to be creating this vintage caravan. The rock's called Life, and I've used the image of this fabulous little postcard that I saw on Etsy. It's no longer available. I went to buy it because I just loved all the colors that were in it and everything. And yeah, it was no longer available, so I'm like, that's it. I'm going to do what any person would have to do in that circumstance, and that is to paint it on a rock. So here we go. I'm just popping down all the base colors, and I'm going to give it a bit of a vintage feel like I explained. But before I do that, I'm doing what I always do, and that is just to put down the base layer of color. Just a little bit of fluff on it. Okay, to put down the one thin layer. You can see how I'm going over it. On the first layer, never looks that great. Don't worry about it. We can come back and put the second layer on that pretty quickly after the first. So nice thin layer, pop that over. A bit hard to see the beige because that's the color of my rock anyway. And this yellow, I love this yellow because I'm not a yellow person. As everybody knows, I will avoid using yellow if I have to, and I mostly do it because it's a bright color. My kids love yellow. Okay, but this is the ochre in the new Posca color, so it's that real mustardy yellow, and I really love that shade. So this is going to suit that vintage look that we want to achieve on this rock. Now the trick to videoing is not to do it at 4:45 in the morning, because I reckon you can sound, you know, that the first time you speak for the day, it sounds very like, oh, quiet, deep, whatever. There's a sound to it, because as I'm talking, I've got little yawns. I'm thinking about my cup of tea that's on its way. I should say my second cup of tea. But anyway, I really love painting in the early hours. It's nice and quiet, so I enjoy all that side, but I really should not do the videos this early. My voice is sounding a little bit like I've had a big night, but I really didn't. Okay, so here I've showed you, I've gone from doing the first coat, and here I'm showing you this is the second coat. I've got some water off to the side of my paintbrush, and I'm going to start the shading. So you can see on the second layer of color, it just looks pretty cool here indeed. And what I'm doing is I'm just adding some brown shading around it to start getting the vintage look to it. And what I'm doing is I'm dipping the brush in the water, and then I'm wiping off any excess water onto my microfiber cloth, and I'm touching on top of the paint pen to pick up some color, and then I'm smushing that across my rock. Now if I see there, I'm just wiping that off. I picked up some color on my brush, but as I started painting onto the caravan, it was just a little bit too much paint, and I wouldn't have had the time to move that around. So I also wiped that onto the microfiber, and you can see the cloth at the top of my mat's getting a little bit grotty from me doing that. So I'm never too shy to wipe away paint. A lot of people put the paint on and think they're stuck with it. Just wipe it away, take it off. You only want to use as much as you can handle at the time. Okay, I'm just deciding on I will go the white. Okay, so instead of normally I'll do like quite a black solid line. Instead of doing that, I'm going to do a white outline, but I'm not trying to go over the original black drawing line. Okay, I'm letting some of that shine through as well. So I'm just going sort of in a little bit on that. If you watch what I'm doing, I'm not trying to match up on top of the lines. So sometimes I'm going on top, sometimes I'm going slightly off the edges of it. And that way the black line can shine through, the white will shine through. You can see I'm not trying to exactly outline the color either. So I'm doing it See there, I'm just going slightly off edge everywhere. It just gives a real vintage feel to it. And the trick to doing that is to go quickly, okay? Because when you go too slow, you will start picking up a real uniformer look, and we really want it to look just a little bit off kilter, if you know what I mean, and that will pick up that vintage look. And then I'm just writing the text onto the rock, and I had that originally in the original lines in the black, so I'm just looking, I can just slightly see the outline, and I'm just going to go for that and write life. Okay, just missed a little bit there. You can, it doesn't have to be a solid line. See how I just did a bit of lines and a few dots for the outlines. Some highlights in there, dots and dashes. Just try not to make the door handles not look too round. I just sort of messed them up a little bit. And I think that's it. That's where we're going to go. So come and show us your vintage caravans on Facebook. I can't wait to see what colour schemes you look. And remember, happiness is a journey, not a destination.